All right, there we go. All right, we'll get right into it today, guys. Thanks for coming to the YouTube technical update. Um, Session will go for around about 20 minutes, and then there'll be some time at the end for some questions. To get the most out of the session, uh, throw your questions in the Q&A function in Zoom, or you can always book a meeting with us afterwards as well. It is being recorded, as you just heard, and will be shared with everyone after the session's over. Today, we're going to be covering some scope and endpoint updates that have occurred in the last quarter. Also talking about a new piece of work that's going to be coming out in Q3 of this year, which will be offer unification. Talking a bit more of the technical side of AI in cases, the legacy API decommission, and then Wisenet Wired, which is a new section that we're just going to be highlighting some solutions that might interest people in here. So to get us kicked off, the scope and endpoint updates that have occurred over the last 3 months is we brought in the new course units entity. This came in when we did the course and unit unification piece of work. There were two new scopes added at this point in time, so course unit read and write, as well as the complete set of endpoints, both the gets, the post, put, and patch. So if you were previously utilizing the course ID on the unit entity, you will now need to have provisioned the course unit scopes so that you can complete that same piece of work, as the relationship's now stored in that course unit rather than directly on the unit. We also updated the credentials endpoints, so they're now coming back with a lot more information, trying to make it a one-stop shop type of endpoint. So you're not having to call a secondary endpoint to get course enrollment or qualification enrollment details, and also another one to call to get learner details as well. So it's about trying to deliver the minimal amount of data to make it efficient and effective. In the last week or so, we also released three new entity types into the wild. First one was training agreements. Now, training agreements are in beta at the moment, but the endpoints and scopes are available if you want to use them and be part of the beta as well. Training agreements are there to assist in work-based learning. And so they allow you to set up an agreement, offer course enrollment with a learner, and then track things like site visits, communication, assessments through that part there. It is compliant with the new work-based reporting in New Zealand, which is replacing the ITR reporting over there in the next month and a half. The other part that came out at the same time as training agreements was event management. Now, we are planning a lot more in the event management space in Q3 of this year. And the current piece of event management that is out at the moment is related to the site visits part of training agreements. So the scopes are available to be added to your account already. The endpoints will start to become available over the next month or so. And the functionality through there will also increase. So in Q2, we released a unification of units release, which brought the units from underneath courses to be by themselves and not dependent on a parent, and allowing that one unit to be shared across multiple courses. The next problem that we're looking to resolve is that enrolments into unit offers are restricted to those sitting under the specific course offer that course enrolment has occurred into. This creates unnecessary duplication when the same unit is delivered across multiple course offers. So it leads to you having to set up those multiple unit offers, but it also makes it very difficult to do capacity tracking. So you may only have the capacity for a specific unit offer to have 15 people in it. If that unit offer is available for 3 different course offers, your base pathway through there is kind of to set 5 vacancies for each unit offer and allow 5 from each of those course offers to come in. But in actual fact, you might work on a first come, first serve basis. And so it might actually be that you want 8 for the first course offer, 7 for the second course offer, and then none for the final one because they were not the quickest to enroll into that unit offer. So another one is the complex access for trainers. So if you do have a trainer that is managing a specific unit offer, they're going to need to have access to all 3 of those course offers and the 3 unit offers underneath, just to get a list of all their learners there. So you've got 3 separate lists of learners. And finally, it doesn't actually reflect how you deliver, as I was saying previously. You usually deliver with one full offer, and then complete that piece of learning through there. So the approach that we're taking is we're using a similar approach to what we did for the units and the courses. We are moving unit offer out from underneath the course offer. This will mean that a course enrollment can technically enroll into any unit offer at all. We're still going to support default values as well as default unit offers for a specific course offer. So you might have it set up that you auto enroll into the unit offers under a course offer at the moment. The new pathway will still allow that, but it adds that additional flexibility there. We also will still be supporting the specific reporting values as well, if some of these change at the course offer level rather than the unit offer level. And most importantly for everyone is that if you're not wanting to make process changes and start using the unified approach, you're actually going to have minimal process change through there. Like we did with the unit unification work, we pre-populated all of that course unit data into the flow so that you didn't even realize a change in process there. There will be changes though, breaking changes to the API and the data warehouse. So data warehouse, on your unit offer table, you'll no longer have a relationship back to course offer. This will be resolved by having the new course offer unit offer table be available in the data warehouse. And similar to what you had to do for your unit course unit relationship connecting, you'll have to do something, you have to do a similar approach for the offers. Similarly, the API on that unit offer endpoint, there'll be a nullable course offer ID or offer ID, I believe the key is currently. And this will be nullable to start with, and then it will be removed, similar to what we're doing with the unit unification work through there. So if you're using that relationship there, be aware that that will change and you will need to request the additional scopes and use the new endpoints when they're released. So last week we announced our support cases feature. And as part of that support cases for premium users, we also announced the release of our AI integration into it. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the technical side of that integration, so that if you do get asked questions from team members in your education businesses, that you're able to provide the correct information to them. So the first thing that we wanted to make sure of when we added AI into Wisenet was that you retained control. So the way we've built it is it's fully opt-in. None of it works without you doing work to make it work. So first part is you have to actually do the connection of OpenAI so that it even appears in your support cases. And then from there, a user physically needs to press the train AI or the assist AI to actually have your data consumed by the machine learning models and provide feedback for you as well. Nothing runs automatically in there. Secondly, we made it so it's your account. It's your OpenAI credentials. This means you retain the control over your data. You can choose how OpenAI uses your information to train its model or your model. You get to control the spend of it. You have the access to the OpenAI usage dashboards, but you also get the benefit of cross-context learning. So if you do use that OpenAI account across different software platforms, or even if you've got multiple different tenancies in Wisenet, you can use separate API keys, but they can learn from that cross-context learning and improve the consistency of your responses through there. There's no shared models between our customers either, and no shared billing. So you've got complete control there. The way that we've built the AI integration in Wisenet, we wanted to make sure that it was agnostic, because at the moment, OpenAI is probably the strongest solution there, the strongest provider, but we are well aware that things can change pretty quickly. And you already might be using a different provider like Claude, Grok, or Copilot. So we're building a way that we can integrate with those AI solutions if required. And so if you are using one of the other solutions, please reach out. And if we get enough interest in it, we can definitely look at integrating a second or a third provider into the loop as well there. Next thing I wanted to talk about was the API legacy decommission that's occurring at the end of this year. And this timeline I'm showing you here is no later than timeline that we're recommending to all of our customers and all of our integrators. Most of you are already in front of this timeline, but I wanted to use this session today just to reiterate where you should be at the minimum, and what you need to be thinking about at each stage. So up until the end of July, you should be looking to get your existing integrations tested with the new OAuth 2.1 authorization method. If you don't already have your API credentials for that, you do need to create a support ticket for us and have your explicit list of scopes on there that you need access to, plus also the redirect URLs for all. When we migrated the APIs across to a new environment, we did bring across about 97% of the endpoints. There were a few endpoints there that we're looking to decommission, and also ones that don't function properly anymore anyway due to other changes that have occurred in the system. So for a large majority of you, the only piece of work that you'd actually need to do to get your environment ready for the new OAuth solution is that authentication piece. So being able to generate your token and then doing the refresh of that token. Now, we'll be doing a quick demo shortly of how you can get that token using Postman if you don't have a UI baked into your solution. In August, we're hoping that you're deploying the solution to your live environment. In September, using that time to debug any issues in your live environment, if you've expanded your scope, if you're using a few new endpoints in there, if you're making use of webhooks. October 1, we will be turning off the old legacy public API key authorization. So just going to demonstrate the Postman solution if you don't have a UI for your integration. Now, so you can find your client ID and client secret in your developer tools in settings. If they're not here yet, that's just because we don't have the redirect URLs or the scopes. So once you provide them to us, we can set you up with your client ID and client secret, so that will appear there. In Postman itself, it's quite simple. If you select an authorization and auth type of 2.0, and we come down, just give your token whatever name makes sense for you. So I just called it Wisenet for today. Grant type is authorization code with PKCE, and I'm just going to use authorize using browser. I did have to put in the auth URL and access tokens. These are available in the API documentation. I'm using the test ones for today. And then I've got my client ID and client secret from before. Code challenge, and Postman actually automatically generates that for you. So you don't need to do that yourselves. I'm just adding 2 scopes in it today. So just combos read and learners AU read. And state is just a static string that you can put in there. So for today, I'm just putting 1, 2, 3. From there, all you have to do is click get new access token. It takes you to the login screen. You do need to be, the person that does this part needs to be a portal admin and a Wisenet owner. I'm just going to use my Google login. I log into here. Now I've got documents upload as a required scope for this test integration. I'm going to pick my tenancy, which is STD for today, and I'm also going to add the combos read and the learners AU read that I've requested here. And then I go authorize. It's then going to come back to Postman for me. And here is our access token and refresh token available here, as well as our API key. So if you aren't having a UI integration, you can then take this information here, as long as you keep this refresh token current. So refresh it at least every 7 days. You won't need any further user interaction. And so when I was talking about before having those 2 pieces that you need to get done of it, that's actually part 1. And then the only piece that you'd need to be resolving there is having that refresh occur. Next, I just wanted to go through a few of the solutions that we're, so Wisenet Wide is going to be a place where I'm going to be talking about solutions we've either developed for people to use or for integrators to use, or cool things that we see other people using the system for, to try and inspire or help others out building their integrations with Wisenet. So today I wanted to go through two ones that, as Wisenet, we've helped develop for people and may be of interest to people on the call. So the first one's about assessments. The solution supports automated submissions, results capture, document management, and assessment synchronization. This pathway is actually being used by LLM Robot and also one of our internal integrations, which is the Kahoot connector. So from here in Wisenet, the user would create the assessment submission. From there, Wisenet sends the webhook out, and then the integrating platform does one get by ID call and receives all the information they need for that assessment. Once the assessment's completed in the integrating platform, they can upload documents and then resync the results in. So within 3 API calls there, you could have a end-to-end assessment solution. If you do want more information on these specific solutions, you can scan the QR code and it will take you to our solution documentation, which outlines which API calls and a bit more considerations through there. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. The next one is the credential storage solution. So this solution supports automatic detection of issued or cancelled credentials, retrieval of those credentials, learner and enrollment data, and synchronization with external systems. So in this flow here, Wisenet would, there would be a credential issued from Wisenet, at which point a webhook would be sent to the integrating partner. From there, a single get by ID call retrieves all of the metadata for the credential. And if they're wanting to also grab the document itself, they can do the second API call to retrieve the documentation. The cancellation flow is a little bit quicker. It is literally just the credential is cancelled in Wisenet. The webhook is sent, and as long as you've stored the Wisenet credential ID, you don't actually need to make any further API calls. You can choose to change the status in your storage solution, or you could remove it. Your two options through that. Again, a more complete solution document is available through the QR code. Thanks for your time today, guys. So I'll open up to questions, but if you are thinking of building integration, want to know how you can get your integrations listed on the marketplace to be available for more people, or becoming a third-party integrator that we can also list on the marketplace, reach out, raise a support ticket, book a meeting, or give us a call. So I'll let questions come through if there are any. If there's not, that's all good as well. The QR code up here will link you to our Learn resource, which covers the entire presentation that we've gone through today as well. Okay. Seems like I must have covered everything. As there's no questions at the moment. Oh, no. Is there an update on the e-learning connector for Moodle 4.5? Yes, we are actively developing the 4.5 Moodle connector, and we hope for it to be out shortly. I can't give you a exact timeline, but I can write your name down and make sure that we notify you once it is out. Perfect. All right. If there's nothing else, have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you for coming along.